Well, hello, and here we are. So, came across this random video. I don't know how I saw it. Bong Radio Records from May 28th. This is like a 50-year-old man. He's got his mother behind him. His father's in front of him. You could tell his father's even older. Let's go through this and just see what's going on with this guy. This is crazy.
Step today. Tomorrow we'll get Carrie on the phone. We'll find out programs. If you will cooperate, if you will be willing to let somebody else tell you what's best, but you argue and you make these very poor choices, Adam, and they're hurting you.
Were you here? Were you with me the past 2.5 years while I was in jail and Baker? No, you weren't. So how are you saying I'm making all these bad choices? You say all this stuff like I'm doing all these.
In jail every other week.
Yeah, is there fraudulent charges on my cases?
Adam, we're not debating this anymore.
Well, but I need someone to talk to because I can't talk to anyone in jail.
Adam, you talk all the time.
Oh,
This guy is like literally out of his fucking mind. I can't understand what's going on. I haven't gotten far into this, as you saw. But let's.
And you've been talking to me a lot. You guys have been telling me that you guys have not been here. You guys have been saying you're in murder. All right. Well, you know what? You guys have lied. You guys have lied to me as well.
Adam, that's not true.
You said you were out of town. You said that you were not here. You said you were in Missouri, and that you would be. Yes.
So he's talking about something that has nothing to do with anything. About, they're out of town driving from one state to another or whatever, and they told him they were in one spot when they were in another. Totally irrelevant to the fact that he's on their couch. They're saying, "Hey, we're either going to call the police or you can go to the hospital." That's what's going on.
Yesterday, you told me you were still in Missouri.
We were.
We were traveling yesterday.
Okay, you said 2 more days yesterday. Fact check that in real time.
So
you lied to me. So you're just going to be here in 2 more. Yes, you did.
You do not. All right, that is irrelevant.
Well, fact check that in real. Have you been here? Have you been here the whole time? Have you been here?
No, I've been gone for 3 weeks.
And you just got back today, or yesterday?
Yesterday.
Well, you know what? You said you're going to be gone for 2 more days, and well, were you? Were you lying to me?
When I told you we were going to be gone for 2 more days, we were going to be gone for 2 more days. We were driving for 2 days. We stayed in Vicksburg.
But when I got here, you were here.
What is relevant?
So you're lying to me.
It's exactly what I was saying. Like, what is that relevant?
Spy planes, okay? Because the vacancy control.
Oh,
just because of your behavior right now.
Okay, well, you know what?
Behavior that we're not going to tolerate.
I'm going to either recommend silence. I'm going to listen to you.
It's not
okay,
court,
make
buddy.
your statement.
Here's what's going to happen. I can take you to the hospital and you can check yourself in. You can go through that process. You need to we'll work with Carrie. We'll try to get you into some kind of program, either in Lakeview, wherever you can, the Defoniac program, whatever the heck we can kind of find. You complete that program. You get on meds. You stabilize yourself.
Whatever works.
Whatever they recommend. And, work on your anger issues and all these, your outbursts right now. That's the problem. That's the reason you've been kicked out of every motel in the county.
That's probably why you got kicked in the head, too.
Am I allowed to speak? I'll let you continue. When you're done talking, can I make some statement? All right. So I'm listening. That's what I've been doing.
So you need to complete a program like that to get you on a steady path where you're not, angry and outbursts and you get thrown in jail every time you turn around. Then we'd be willing to help you. But the way you act right now, the way you've been acting for the last year, we're not going to. It's money just thrown away.
It's not helping you.
It's not helping you. You continue to get in the same troubled problems.
Almost worse. Each time it seems to get more serious.
You've been arrested multiple times.
And it could get dangerous. You could really get hurt.
So anyway, That's one option. The other option is I'm going to call the sheriff and they're going to take you to jail. So that's what's going to happen. Okay, now you can speak. What's option do you want?
Which officer do you want?
Let me consult my guidance
Okay, you
director.
consult.
I will, and you can.
Adam, can't you accept the fact that we wouldn't do anything to hurt you? We will not do anything to hurt you. Allowing you to get on the street, be arrested, sent back to jail.
You're gonna make up some shit that hurt him.
Yeah, I agree.
And why? And the reason you would be going back to jail is your behavior. You cannot succeed on your own. You get into situations that are confrontational. You get upset, and then you go to jail. We don't want that. We want you to go to the hospital, have people that listen to you. Maybe they don't listen the way you want them to, but they are observing. They are observing you and understand things that are going on with your mental illness. Maybe it's medication, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just good, healthy routine. But a hospital is where you need to go, not jail. But you always go to jail.
Why?
Because you choose to behave in a way that sends you to jail. I've never been arrested because I don't act that way. I understand what is appropriate, I suppose. You cannot handle that.
We're not, Adam, we're not going to debate.
We're not
gonna
debating.
listen.
And I haven't made a statement. I haven't made a statement yet. I would.
You have two choices.
Oh, he still hasn't made a statement.
I can talk. I also have the freedom. I have the right to remain silent, which is what I was practicing this whole
We're not in
time.
a court.
All right.
We're not in a court.
Oh, but this is the United States of America, so I have the right to remain silent. Correct. I also have the freedom of speech.
Do you
What
want
the
us to call the police, or do you want to go to the hospital?
He's
I
looking
want
at the
to make a
camera
statement,
like,
which I
Okay,
told
make your
Dad.
statement.
Okay, can I, without you guys covering and talking over me, because I kept my mouth quiet. I believe I've been.
Talk.
Okay, well, so what is my mental illness? How is that decided? Who decided it? Who declared me schizoaffective?
This is not, 30 questions.
Well, I mean,
Make your statement.
You're not.
When you're
this
done
is
with
being
your statement, I'm gonna
recorded.
Call the police.
Okay, now you haven't let me even start making. I haven't.
Make your statement.
Will you
Make
not?
your statement.
Can you practice your right to remain silent so I can make my statement?
We're not in a court of law.
Make your statement.
Please don't talk over me so I'm able to make my statement. Thank you.
he doesn't
Okay,
even have
what
a
is
statement.
my mental illness? My mental illness is schizoaffective, as Dr. Baldwin. Richard Peterson, I don't know if both of you are there, but Richard Peterson is there. He said, is this the right medication for you? Andrea Lynn Peterson said, schizoaffective? Well, for what my working definition for schizoaffective is that I'm not belligerent. See, schizophrenia is when
No,
you're
that's the
belligerent.
thing. You have your own.
I'm belligerent right now, apparently. Okay, so
Yes, you
schizoaffective is
are.
like kind of like you think about some crazy stuff, and it's just you like talking about it. And so schizophrenia is when you're belligerent and like you say this is what it is, this is what I'm gonna do. That's what belligerent. You understand what belligerent is. So my diagnosis, which was Dr.
What is he
Baldwin
talking
in
about?
Lincoln, Nebraska, when I was living with Andrea Lynn Peterson and her family after I ran away.
That might have been 20 years ago.
Yeah, that might have been 20 years ago. It was probably something like that, yeah.
Listen to what
Around
he's
2000
talking
or
about.
something. Right,
It's
that's right.
unbelievable.
Before Gabrielle was even born.
Yeah, correct. And so then,
She's 23, so it was more than 20 years ago, yeah? That's a long time, honey. You've been suffering
yeah,
a long
you know what
time.
happened before that?
So
You
let's...
continue with your statement.
That's
Father
okay.
wants him out.
So,
Father just wants him
all
gone.
right, and we're trying to discuss where I need to go. Correct. All right.
Right.
So I have been, went to the Baker Act on August 3rd, 2023. We were going to go on Friday, but we went on Thursday
Doesn't
because
matter.
Went
Just-
to the you were
I'm making
Baker
my
Act.
statement. This is being recorded.
Okay.
I'm trying not to be belligerent. I'm trying to listen to you when you talk, and I'm asking you to listen to me when I talk,
Make your statement.
and not throw clouds. So
But you're
so I'm
not
able to
talking,
think.
bro.
We'll just go straight to the jail. See, the jail is such that I'm telling you right now that I have some sort of Neuralink. I'm just going to tell you that right now because what I hear and I listen on the questions I ask, I know how to work this Neuralink.
This
I think
video is
people,
a random
this day and
video
age,
with
need
like
to understand that there
200.
is such a thing as Neuralink. So
9
whether or not you
views.
believe I am accessing this guidance
This
God
is
or intelligence.
amazing
Well, you can
stuff.
contact the
This
Walton
is
County
just
Sheriff's
amazing
Department
stuff.
because that's what they did, and I knew that was not my voice. It was in my head, and it gave me a speech. It says, "There is God," and it's like there. And it's kind of like your old message, like So you've had that voice on your text machine. There is God, and there's also intelligence. Intelligence consists of microphones
Blah,
and
blah,
cameras,
blah,
which
blah,
are
blah,
connected to
blah.
the internet. If anyone steps 1 foot towards you in like aggression, we will snap them. I was like, whoa, that's a crazy word. Snap, we will snap them. That's dangerous. So then I was listening to more stuff, and I'm listening to this, not hearing it, but listening to it. It's a difference between, I hear voices. I hear voices. But what about if you're listening for voices? Is that crazy? If the guidance that it's giving you is actually good advice, well, then you would probably understand that it would be a good thing. Much like the Secret Service, stand down, stand down.
Okay, Adam, we're done listening to your
Yeah,
statement.
he doesn't want to hear this shit
This
anymore.
Nonsense. You're speaking
Okay.
nonsense.
Okay, and it's absolute nonsense and not factual,
All right.
correct?
I mean, so your choice is you want to go to jail.
No, I'm making my statement. I'm recording
Well-
this right now. No, absolutely not. I do not want to go to jail. I do not want to go to the hospital. I don't think I have any reason to be put in jail
Well-
because this.
You can't be here.
Well, actually, this is my legal address. So
Well, we'll let the judge decide that.
okay, we can. And so the public immunity is what I declared. So I declare public immunity. So what does that mean?
Okay, Adam.
See, the Neuralink told me that would be my best thing to claim right now. Now it's on recording. So I've declared public immunity. So if you find out what that is, ask your Neuralink what public immunity is. Now, legally ask yourself that. Now, how do I know that word? What is vagrancy control? What is vagrancy control? Why did ADT not call you? Have you been paying ADT your bill? Well,
Did they just walk out on him?
so it's like ADT didn't call him, and like, what's vagrancy control? And how come didn't they call? Does he pay his ADT bill? Then why are these cameras here? And then did someone call? I don't know. Let's just listen to the Neuralink and or whatever. I don't know what it is. I don't know how I got it, but it is a true thing. So
Yeah.
we're gonna make this video right here. So what are you gonna? Hey, Earn Dog, speak for me, and I'll listen. And I'll repeat after you. You have no legal right to do this to this man. This man is your father's son.
What?
His son's name is Adam Michael Carr. And we are telling him this to say on camera that you have no right to do this to this man. And this man
This guy's lost it.
right here that you are watching on his own phone that he bought at Walmart.
I knew he was gonna say that.
And Nicole somehow did something to make this phone a bitchin' ass phone. But you know what? This is not a bitchin' ass phone right now.
Sure isn't.
This is a bomb ass bitchin' ass phone right now. And you know what?
What?
That's pretty freaking funny.
Uh-huh.
Because you know what?
What?
That is freaking funny.
Oh,
Because he didn't say friggin'.
is that why?
And again, he didn't say friggin' again. Which means he's not swearing.
Oh.
Even though he kind of messed up something right there. Yeah, I did.
Oh, well.
But that's not the point. Because you have to say this in such a way that people understand there are ways
Professor.
to access lawyership. That's right. Lawyership.
Lawyership.
I even said it in a weird word.
Oh, yeah.
Almost got you there.
Oh,
You
almost.
saw that.
Didn't see that one coming.
You can actually see and say this right now. Basically,
See and say.
he's accessing these words by listening to his mind talk,
Okay.
which is extremely fascinating.
It is, in
Because
a way.
he is not letting me speak. So this is what we call cloud cover. I just call it cover. Yeah, cloud cover. Yeah. I'm just carrying on. So this is what we call cloud cover, which happens at the jail all the time. Because there are robots in the jail. And yes, these motherfuckers are basically like robots throwing cloud cover over innocent people who are trying to use Neuralink or something, but they can't. Because these robots, which are people convicted of felonies, who cannot speak for themselves because they are felons. And this is so wrong because that is what's happening, right now. Are you a robot, Father?
Holy shit, man.
Okay, Ed.
It's just saying, yes, you are. Yes, you are. I'm saying, well, you know what? I don't know about that. I'm asking my Father, are you a robot, Father? So I'm asking that. I'm repeating what it's telling me. So
It's time to go.
It's time to go, hon. Let's go to the hospital. It'll be a good place to go.
Alright.
Drink your coffee.
The decision.
Now the sunshine, you're getting burned. Your face is getting all sunburned.
I have declared public immunity on this.
All right.
It's already been recorded.
Adam, come on. Let's get
So
up.
what
It
are the
has
legal
been written.
ramifications
Adam,
of
you're
you
not-
taking me past the door?
He's not getting up.
You look legal, that's called kidnapping, just so you know. So if you take me past that door,
Not even halfway through this.
I could actually charge you with
Oh,
kidnapping.
Adam, you're
It's
not,
true.
You are wrong.
Is that true?
Adam,
Am I wrong,
Adam,
Ernie?
Yeah,
Adam,
it's
do
your
you
mom.
understand you're going to either go to jail or you're going to go to the hospital? You can decide. You can walk out, get in the car, go to the hospital, get some help, or the police are going to come and take you to jail. That's it. And you're not going to live on this porch like
You're throwing cloud cover, Mom. But
What
you
am I
carry
doing?
on. Okay,
What?
it's called cloud cover. Like I'm not able to think of an answer.
Oh,
And you
all
guys,
right. Cloud
so you,
cover.
yeah, that's what it's called.
Okay.
See, that's what happens at jail. That's what I was just explaining. You came out here after I explained it. I'll go over it again.
No. We're
Okay,
done.
well,
we're done. We're done. You're done.
I've declared public immunity,
All right,
and
honey.
do you
All right.
understand what
You
that
made the choice.
entails? Do you understand what I said about trespassing? Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
That's it. You're making the choice. You're
Adam,
making the
you
choice
can
to
go
go to
to
jail.
the hospital. We'll take you to the hospital, or you can go to jail. We'll call it, you've been trespassed here.
Are those my only two options?
That's
Yes.
the only two options.
Yes.
Is that true, Ernie?
Excuse me. What?
Are my only two options to go to hospital or go to jail?
That's
correct.
Well, we don't.
That's not
we
correct.
assume that jail is not an option. We want you to be comfortably settled at the hospital and helped. We do not
You
want you
need
to
medical
go to jail.
attention. Your mental illness is clouding all your judgment. You know, for the last year and a half, you've been in and out of jail multiple times.
You've got your stuff here. It's nice and safe. We can protect your possessions. That was a good thing to do. And then when you're
When you complete a
when
program
you're
and
discharged,
take your meds
Yeah, I've been.
and become stable, then we're prepared to help you. But until you do so, we're not going to throw money away.
well, the other piece to it, every time that happens, you get a little worse. Whatever worse means, it means that you're not able to manage a life on your own. This is not living. This is not healthy. And you're talking to your phone, it's a beautiful phone. by
I'm
the way.
listening to you. I'm recording this so we hear what you're saying, and I'm showing them that I'm allowing you to talk.
Well, no one is going to see that.
Well, I could put it on YouTube right now.
Well, that's fascinating. Regardless, we want you to have a better life than this, Adam. Nothing is, everything is...
I would like a better life myself, and
Well,
then
you're
in
gonna
jail and
have to
Well,
hospital.
you got to
your
work
part.
at it. You're
You're
going to
gonna
have to
have
change some
yeah.
of the things you've been doing
It's-
because what you've been doing ain't working
Right.
too good.
Right, and you need to. Once you accept that, and you open your mind to being helped, I think you're going to get some good results.
Yeah. Why do you think I call him Ernie?
I don't care. This is one of the things, Adam, that you don't realize how inappropriate that question. I mean, it's not obscene or anything. It's ridiculous. It doesn't. It makes no sense, and it alienates you from the conversation.
Right.
Okay. Adam, you have two choices. We can take you to the hospital now, or I'm going to call the sheriff. And you've been had a trespass order against you. You were informed of that last night.
Oh,
And I'm
wow.
concerned that they won't take you to the hospital, but they'll take you to jail, and
So
that we don't
we'll call.
want.
Those are your two options. Which one you want?
They will take
I would like a
yeah.
different option than
Well,
going to jail
those
or
are
the
only the two
hospital.
options that we can help you with.
We know of no
Well,
other.
Alright, well, you don't have any other options,
no other
bro.
options.
We
There's
could.
no other options we're willing to accept.
That's true.
Okay.
Other
That's
than
true.
just
You're
walk
not-
out
Well,
the
I don't think
door.
you have the legal right or ramification. I don't
Well,
think you
we'll
have
see.
the. I
That's for
really
the
don't
legal
think you
system
do.
to determine.
Okay, well, I've declared public immunity, and if I'm
they
dragged past
refuse.
that door, that's kidnapping, and
You
that's.
refuse.
You refuse
Refuse
to.
to go to
go
the
to the
I didn't
hospital?
say that. I said we need to be able to talk about this, and you're not
Well, we've
letting me
been
speak.
talking for half an hour.
Yeah, you've been talking, and I've not been able to answer you.
What?
Well, you've been talking. You made your
That's
statement.
kind of like belligerence.
You made your statement.
Okay, am I allowed to make my statement? Can I make statements?
You've made half an hour.
Did
of
you
a statement on
listen?
your
Did you
phone.
listen to my statements, or did you walk in while I made my statements? So when I make a statement, are you listening to my statements, or are you not allowing me to make statements?
The
What have we done
statement police.
this
This
whole
guy
time?
is.
I've been trying to listen to you,
Well,
and
it
not,
seems like you're communicating to us that you will not go to the hospital.
is that I don't want to go to the
No, you
hospital.
don't want
Okay,
to.
we
And
know
I-
that. We know that, and that we don't blame you. We understand that you would prefer something else. At this
But you
point,
need-
this is the next step. You need take that first step in faith.
I want to hear how old
Can we
he is.
slow down? We guys are just.
Well,
we need to take this a little bit
you need-
slower, please,
You need to. You need
because I
to
can't
speed it
keep up. I need to. Now you're saying I need to speed it up.
We're going to. This is not going to be a debate, Adam.
I'm letting you make your statement, and I'm.
The statement's not got anything to do with it. You just need to
Statement,
get ready to go.
statement.
the
Like this
hospital,
guy's
Adam
talking
thinks
to the
you get better.
media.
I don't want to go to the hospital. I don't have. You don't have the right to. I'm not a threat to you, and I'm not a threat to myself.
I didn't want to go
And-
into labor.
So you're
'Cause
saying.
it hurts. Labor.
And then you
hurts.
say-
Oh shit!
Listen to me. When you
Like
go
I
that's
didn't
my
want to give
fault you
birth
went
to
into
your
labor.
No, I'm
fucking
just
psycho
suggesting that
ass.
you go through things that hurt you to get better.
And I've been going through this for about 2.5 years.
And let's
Actually,
get
2.5
better.
years.
Let's do something. Let's
Or
do
2 years
let's
and
get-
5 months.
Let's get better.
That's
You've
what I'm
been
trying to
through this
do.
23 years.
Yeah.
Too long. Too long.
Too much talking, yeah.
Well, boy.
All right. Okay, Adam.
All right, we'll call
You-
the police,
You've
but
made
then it's
you've
jail.
made your choice, so we're going to call the sheriff.
I'm really sorry.
I did
for
not
you.
choose anything. You've
Please
not let
call
me.
the
You've not-
sheriff.
You've not.
But I've not answered which one I was.
Well, then
yet.
you don't get a choice.
You
Well,
don't
I haven't been
choose
able to
then,
talk
bro.
to
What the
make
fuck?
this
You what are you,
statement.
If we could
two?
verbally, if we could physically get you in the car and take you to the hospital,
That'd be
we would.
that'd be kidnapping.
All right, Adam.
Well, the
Shut
police
up,
can take you
Adam.
to-
All right, we're done. We're done.
All right.
Well, this is still recording. So, are you guys gonna listen to my statement?
Dude, you went on for like
Oh,
40
that's
minutes.
annoying, man. So, do they have the Ernie? Do they have the legal ramifications to take me and Baker Act me? No, I would have to Baker Act myself. Correct? Yes, because I feel.
Who
Why
the
would I
fuck
Baker Act
is
myself in this
Ernie?
situation? Would you think, Ernie, that I would want to Baker Act myself currently in this situation right now? Answer me that, and I'll give you that. Ernie, do you? Let's just say, it. Ernie, you think that I need to be Baker Acted because I'm the only one that can do it at this point? I should Baker Act myself. Is that correct, Ernie? Yes, you are right. However, I don't think you want to do this. This is my right, and because this is my right, they have no right to Baker Act me themselves. So the only way I'm going to get Baker acted is if I Baker act myself, correct? Correct? And you know what? It told me to say that. It did not tell me to say that. It told me to say that, exactly. However, I am accessing the Neuralink system, so to speak, for clarity, which is to say, I am definitely going to sue these people who've been suing themselves by not listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth, which is funny. Because you don't. Which is funny. Why?
I'm kind of getting tired of this guy, but...
Correct. And so because I understand that this has been so... I'm just talking, I'm not listening anymore. This has helped me out so much. This got me out of jail, which I...
Right.
So I learned that from Erndog. I'm just speaking for myself right now. So I've been calling it ghetto earplug. I was walking down the street, I was talking about this. I heard someone say ghetto swap. So that's another thing someone said. I've been calling it ghetto earplug because I don't know what it is, but I am aware that I absolutely have this ability to what? Listen and then make a statement and say correct, which then supplies me with an answer of correct. And so because I understand that this has been so...
Ghetto
I'm not listening to you.
earplug?
This has helped me out so much. This got me out of jail,
I'm out of jail.
which I
Ghetto
was not
earplug.
guilty for. And I actually said, my statement is, my charges and like all these cases that have been happening for the past 2 years and 5 months. I don't know. I think it's 2 years and 5 months. August to it's February now, so it's 2 years. So since August 3rd, I've been going to Baker Act, and I've been learning how to live on myself. So they talk about this program. Okay, what is this program? Well, my program that I think through my 2 years and 5 months is that I've been able to understand that I have the ability to make a statement, and this has happened rather rapidly in the past month or two, because it's been more and more. It's ever since I was in Walton County Jail, the second time I was arrested, and that was actually August 2nd for 61 days, which is where I heard the Walton County Sheriff's Department say, contact Walton County Sheriff's Department. And then it went off and it said a word which describes a archetype. And so the archetype system was developed by a man named Joseph Campbell. Joseph Campbell was a student of Carl Jung, and Carl Jung was a student of Sigmund Freud. These were psychologists, not psychiatrists.
Alright, so this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna watch this video instead. I'm really tired of that dude.
Regularly puts his stomach and full body to the
Let's
test,
watch
and in turn, he's amassed a legion of devoted fans.
Mr. Beast.
Prepare yourself for the eating phenomenon that is
Mr.
LA Beast.
Please, do not try anything
Not
I
from
do at
LA,
home.
by the way.
If you take a look at LA Beast's YouTube channel, you'll see him
He's from
eating
New
and drinking
Jersey.
absurdly obscure products and mind-boggling quantities of food fit for Godzilla. That's what most people know him for. However, if you look closely at the video titles, you'll notice some that have nothing to do with food at all. But that doesn't mean he puts his body through any less stress in them. In one video, LA Beast journeys into the Amazon jungle to visit the Satare Mawe tribe and engage in their brutal ritual where the
Never seen
tribal
it.
boys become men. It involves wearing 2 woven gloves filled with bullet ants, a
Alright.
species of ant whose sting feels like a bullet hit you, and dancing to ceremonial songs with tribal elders. Dressed in indigenous garb, LA Beast slips on the gloves and begins to dance. He's in agony shortly after and begins profusely sweating.
Shit, pain at first doesn't seem that bad. It gets worse, and it's getting worse.
When it finally ends after several minutes, he thinks he's going into shock and gets carted off to the local hospital for assistance. He survives, of course, but he goes through absolute hell. In another video, much less extreme, he wears drunk goggles and hilariously attempts to make his way through a ridiculous obstacle course that results in, as you can expect, disaster. This time, however, the pain and discomfort are lighthearted and fun. It's easy to crank out videos in the comfort of a living room where there's no live audience to impress and editing software is at your disposal. That's why things got really interesting for LA Beast when he was offered a spot at the Comedy Palace, a venue in San Diego known for stand-up comedy. He took his voracious act to the stage to perform in front of an invigorated crowd ready to see the action up close and personal. Fans of the YouTuber fill the house as LA Beast walks on stage with his soon-to-be devoured meal: raw shelled eggs, a stick of butter, whole hot dogs, a bottle of syrup, a can of dog food, a raw bull testicle, 2 habanero peppers, blue milk, and a small cactus. His fans arrived for a show, though, and he was ready to go full beast mode. The mixture of different textures and unsettling flavors definitely throws him for a loop. Some of them go down smooth, like the syrup and eggs, but others, like the whole hot dogs and raw testicles, send him into several gagging frenzies. The crowd never stops cheering him on, and after he wraps things up with the cactus, he leaves the stage a champion. That look on his face, however, makes it pretty clear he's happy it's over. Competitive eating challenges have no time for those who are selective about what they pack their bellies to the brim with. That's why LA Beast hangs with the best of them. When you step foot on his culinary gridiron, there's no opponent you shy away from, and that includes foods so spicy, even Lucifer would cower in fear. LA Beast welcomes those intestinal fires no matter what price he'll have to pay. Ever heard of the Carolina Reaper? It's one of the hottest peppers on the planet. But since LA Beast's eating prowess is out of this world, he goes all in during a Carolina Reaper eating competition at an outdoor festival in New Jersey. He eats 14 of them in under 1 minute. Picture a stomach full of molten lava and a mouth that feels like you sucked on a red-hot furnace. That about sums up what he felt like afterward. In another act of sheer insanity, he attempts 2 packs of the world's hottest ramen, combined with a dollop of the world's spiciest sauce, Mad Dog 367 No. 9 Plutonium, which clocks in at 9 million Scoville units. The pain in his face is tangible, and the beads of sweat on his face are visible. But then again, if he didn't fight through so much pain, he wouldn't carry the LA Beast name proudly.
Never forget. That just brought me right down to size right there. That was a piss poor effort on my part.
Even though LA Beast seems like he can plow through anything presented to him, he's only human. Well, sort of. Sometimes viewers want to see the indestructible show a vulnerable side, and even though the semi-truck of a man looks as though he's impervious to failure, he lets fans in on his shortcomings as well. Take a look at his attempt to down 96 shots of eggnog. In a Christmas video special, the Beast arranges a massive tray of plastic shot glasses teeming with that thick and sweet drink that rolls around every December. As with any challenge, he starts out fiercely tossing the shots back like they're water. But at about the halfway point, his stomach realizes it's in over its head. Our Beast not only quits, but he festively pukes all over the miniature Christmas tree next to him. Now that's how you celebrate a holiday. Another big loss came when he tried to chow down on the largest sushi roll ever created. You might think sushi is relatively light on the stomach when you order from your local sushi spot. This guy, however, plops a 15-pound roll consisting of multiple types of fish onto a plate with hopes of stretching his gut to the max.
Why? Because I'm hungry.
He gets almost halfway through, though, before the bad idea hits him like a cement truck. The lesson here? Maybe it's best not to eat sushi by the pound. A human digestive system isn't built to withstand a tsunami of saturated fat, sugar, and salt attacking it in droves. Clearly, LA Beast has a cast iron digestive tract by now, but one challenge he takes on is a whole different animal. One with the ability to draw blood. The Beast dares to consume several full cacti, complete with the spines attached. You're probably wondering how a human throat could handle hundreds of prickly bits tumbling down its walls. Well, LA Beast wants to find out, so he buys 10 potted cacti and puts his esophageal concerns on hold. But before he tackles the plants, he eats 4 dry ghost peppers. Because why not mix crazy with even crazier? The Beast literally rips into the first cactus as if he's eating a steak. The spikes don't even seem to faze him, as he just chews each mouthful up and gulps it quickly down before chomping off another massive chunk. How he actually polishes off all 10 without serious injury is a mystery his fans may not ever know the answer to. YouTube, like any website that allows the public to upload videos and post written material, does its best to patrol their landscape and age restrict, or in extreme cases, completely ban overly inappropriate material. LA Beast found himself in hot water at one point when a video he had posted 7 years earlier suddenly resurfaced in a bizarre way. Before the Beast amassed the online following he has today, he posted a video where he chugged a decades-old bottle of the forgotten 90s soda Crystal Pepsi. The video unfolds just like all his other ones. He chats with the camera as he drinks it, and after he's finished, it promptly comes back up the way it went down. No big deal, right? That's happened dozens of times on his channel. However, when YouTube star PewDiePie referenced that specific video in one of his own videos, YouTube took notice and didn't like what they saw. They sent LA Beast a message stating the content of the video wasn't suitable for all ages and slammed an age restriction on it, which demonetizes the whole thing. Of course, there wasn't much he could do about it, but he expressed his frustration about the ever-growing inconsistencies regarding some of the site's policies.
My video was reported, it was flagged, and now I'm
As consumers of all things trendy and desirable, everyone knows that products come and go. If an idea can't entice the masses quickly, it's kicked to the curb so the next great thing can try its luck. Crystal Pepsi was exactly that. Who wouldn't want to drink clear Pepsi? Well, it turned out most people didn't, until LA Beast came around.
That's bullshit. Everyone loves Crystal Pepsi. I did too. I really, Alright, so, gonna do little ads goals. Let's see what, fuck that. Let's see what he has to say about whatever's going on here.
An attack has occurred on a pro-Israel protest in Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah.
Initial reports suggest Molotov cocktails were used, and there are multiple casualties, including children.
Yeah.
Sounds horrible. Yeah.
It's a foreign man who did it.
I'm watching a video. It's sick. Yeah. Yeah, look at this. This is insane.
People are trying to help people all over the place.
Oh boy. Well, people are becoming radicalized. Yeah, I think this is really, really bad. And I think this is going to keep happening more too, by the way. And we're aware and fully investigating the targeted terror attack in Boulder, Colorado. Our agents and law enforcement are on the scene already, and we will share more information as it becomes available. I wonder how long it's going to take. Can I DM Cash Patel? Somebody needs to... Can I message him? I can't DM him. Yeah, because I need to tell him, like, bro, like, what are y'all doing? What are you guys doing? I tweet at him, yes. Like, really, this is nuts. Y'all really need to get on top of some of these people online. They promote this shit, and there's nothing ever happens. Oh, nothing happens to him. Yeah. More online censorship? This isn't, well, guys, this is not more online censorship. It was never acceptable to make calls for violence and to promote terror organizations.
Right.
This is not, guys, this is not censorship. This is the law. This is the First Amendment. I don't want any new rules. All I want is the existing rules to be applied fairly to the people that are obviously breaking them.
Facts.
Like, somebody got to say this shit, man. FBI personnel, what is this here? Are on the scene in Boulder along with local law enforcement. We are investigating this incident as an act of terror.
Yeah, but then
and
some
in the
cop
targeted
went on
violence, all
CNN and said it
necessary
wasn't.
assets will be dedicated to this investigation. If you have any investigative tips, please contact the FBI. We can find you. You cannot hide. Well, then why can't you find anybody online? Like, I don't know. Can I DM this guy? Maybe I should DM him. No, I can't DM him either.
Well, it would show you right there.
I mean,
if you
really,
could DM him,
they're not paying attention to this shit. Like, honestly, they're not. And so this is the guy that did it right here.
Yep.
Several pro-Israel supporters were attacked by a guy with fire by a pro-Hamas protester.
He's like a Ukrainian.
I don't know about him being pro-Hamas. It's hard to say. We don't know that yet. Yeah, I called the FBI to report people doing this online, and they just hung up on me. Thank goodness you have the balls to say it. For real, bro. Thank you. Yeah, this is embarrassing, man. Like, because the thing is, like, I think the like, how are you letting a bunch of people go from the FBI whenever you should get them, you should recalibrate them and have them, like, do this.
No,
right? Before you fire them, at least.
They weren't
the governor of Colorado said, I am closely monitoring the situation in Boulder. And my thoughts go out to the people who've been injured and impacted by this heinous act of terror. This is the governor of Colorado calling it a heinous act of terror and saying people have been injured. Hate-filled acts of any kind are unacceptable, he says. While details emerge, the state works with local and federal law enforcement to support this investigation. More info will be provided as it comes available.
According to the witnesses who spoke with CBS, the suspect attacked people walking to remember the Israeli hostage. This is not a protest. It's a peaceful walk to show solidarity with the hostages and their families, and a plea for their release, said Run for Their Lives, who organized the walk. Domestic terrorism. I mean, it's not even a question whether it's domestic terrorism or not. I mean, it's unequivocally domestic terrorism, and anybody can see that. I mean, if you think it's not, I mean, I think that you're just trying to hide something that's obviously the case.
The video of the guy going
The video
nuts
could be
with the
TOS, by the way.
fitness
I know, that's why I'm
people
pausing
with
and not showing the
alcohol
video.
and shit.
But thanks for reminding me.
I saw that.
So, yeah.
I should have.
Exactly by shutting down harmless domestic terrorism groups is such a necessity. That's right. Here are images of the guy who threw some kind of incendiary
those
device.
images, I saw the video of that.
This is it. Yep.
That's not an American, man. Look at him.
Jesus.
Witnesses were here. We've taken them to another location to debrief them and interview them. As we do that, I think the picture will become more clear. But it would be irresponsible for me to speculate on motive this early on. We're only a couple hours into this thing.
About the suspect, can you confirm the description about him? Because we know any picture running in social media.
I haven't seen it, and obviously I wasn't here when he was arrested. All I know is it's an adult male. We're working to identify that person. We're working to figure out where they're from, and we're in contact with our federal partners as well as we figure that out.
Was something thrown at the group?
That is being investigated as well. So our initial call, as I mentioned, was a report that someone was setting people on fire. That is fairly consistent with the injuries that we found.
So that's what happened.
We're not 100% certain how that happened, and that's what we're doing to interview. There's a lot of witnesses that we're interviewing. I suspect within this evening, I suspect we'll have a better idea of exactly how those injuries occurred.
Are you guys going to have additional security for Jewish and Israeli people helping the hostages in the circle right now? Because this is a weekly occurrence, are you guys going to now have some additional security measures to protect Jews in Boulder?
So what I will say is, again, I cannot confirm right now that this was targeted at a specific group of
people.
It's so
crazy that
we understand that there's a lot of tensions right now on a lot of issues in the United States and everywhere. Once we have a clear motive, we will react accordingly. And if that motive was a group was targeted, we will absolutely.
No, that's fair for him not to.
That additional security, additional presence. We want people to feel safe no matter what they're here for.
How many people were injured?
I don't have an exact number. What I will say is multiple. I can confirm that Boulder Community Hospital received multiple patients, and some of those patients were transferred to other hospitals. Right now, we have detectives working to find out specifically.
If they had to be transferred, that means there's probably a lot.
Again, hopefully later this evening we'll have an exact number. Right now, I'll just say
casualties.
Take like one more question.
Any life-threatening injuries?
I believe so. What I'm being told is there are a range of injuries from very serious to more minor. And again, I just am. My heart goes out to those victims, and we're keeping them in our thoughts, prayers, and minds as they recover.
Or they're
I got to go back to
understaffed.
the command post.
Yeah, maybe.
And I'll tell you that we're going to have another update later tonight.
No, it's because they're in Boulder, Colorado.
So follow our social media for the next update. We will have another update for you this evening.
It happened because the fucking left the shithole.
We will put that out if we do. Right now, we just have these.
Uh-huh.
So, thank you. We will put out when we have another update tonight.
Thank you. Just staying away.
The public information officer for the Boulder Police Department. We are in the very, very early stages of this active investigation, and Chief Stephen.
This is the beginning. We'll watch this.
What happened this afternoon?
What happened? There was another terrorist attack from a anti-Israel person who threw Molotov cocktails into a peaceful protest of children and burned multiple people alive and killed them. That's what happened.
Hold on, Steve.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah.
As Dion said, my name is Stephen Redfern. I serve as the police chief here in Boulder, Colorado.
Killed?
Today, I'm here to give you very.
Yeah, my understanding is that 2 people were killed. Is that something that's not true? If that's not true, then I apologize.
I don't know if it's 2 or...
It's not true. At least it's not certain yet. Okay, so we don't know yet.
We know. Well, we do now.
Preliminary information about an attack that
yeah,
occurred
we'll find
here
out
in downtown Boulder at about 1:26 p.m.
Can't know yet.
Today.
Yeah, we'll see.
At that time, Boulder dispatch received several calls to the county courthouse located at 1325 Pearl Street here in Boulder. The initial callers indicated that there was a man with a weapon and that people were being set on fire. The initial response by our officers, we were on scene very quickly. When we arrived, we encountered multiple victims that were injured with injuries consistent with burns and other injuries. While our officers and paramedics and fire department personnel got those victims quickly to the hospital, our officers
might be confusing a Paris attack. Oh, you know what? I was. I apologize. I was thinking about the Paris attacks.
We encountered that suspect who was taken into custody without incident.
Yeah,
that suspect who I'm not
no,
able
I was
to
wrong about
at
that.
this time was
That's right.
taken to the hospital with some minor injuries.
Another
as well.
terror attack.
And there's a lot more we're investigating right now before I'm able to release information on that person.
Yeah, I think
the
that makes
scene,
sense.
Itself is contained, but we have a large area here in downtown Boulder closed off right now.
Why can't not
Businesses have
ID
been
them?
closed,
They
and
just
we have
they
asked
don't
people
do it
to avoid
immediately.
The area. This area is not safe yet. We're dealing with a vehicle of interest. We're dealing with a large area that we are making sure it's safe before we allow people to come back into the scene.
Yeah.
If your vehicle is here in the several block perimeter that we have,
new video.
please
Suspect
follow our
yelling, "How
social
many
media.
people have
We
you
will
killed?"
announce when the roads are open and people can retrieve.
If you want to
their
find me to clip
vehicles.
that, you can send it to
appreciate
Ahmad. I
everyone's
can
patience
watch
as we
it.
work through this complex scene. What I will say, lastly, is this was a beautiful Sunday afternoon in downtown Boulder on Pearl Street, and this act is unacceptable. I hope you'll join me this evening as we're working.
There's a pause. Do you think there should be consequences for leftist influencers fueling this extremism?
Yes.
I think.
All right, so let's go to this one. This kid just died doing a prank, apparently.
This TikToker just lost his life during a TikTok prank, and it's all from an old trend that everyone did growing up that has been slightly altered for TikTok in a more reckless way. So, what happened? Well, this man shot an 18-year-old over a ding-dong ditch video, and it's way more than just another viral trend going wrong. This is one of those times that I'm having to report on something that's already gone too far and can't be taken back. So, fair warning, this isn't the most fun video.
Tonight, an arrest for murder in Virginia after teens tell authorities an age-old childhood prank, the ding-dong ditch, turned deadly. A high school senior shot to death while doing the stunt, his friends say, for a TikTok video. Now the homeowner, Tyler Chase Butler, arrested and accused of second-degree murder.
So let's set the scene. It's 3 a.m. in Spotsylvania County, Virginia. A group of high schoolers are out filming a prank for TikTok, the kind your parents probably called harmless mischief, and the internet calls, I guess, a ding-dong ditch prank. And we all know how this prank goes. It's older than the internet. You knock on someone's door, run off, and the trend part involves, I guess, getting the footage and posting it for clout. What could go wrong, right? Well, apparently everything. Everything went wrong. 18-year-old Michael Bosworth Jr., a high school senior, had no idea this would be the last video he'd ever film.
Yeah, we just waiting to get shot. Okay, yeah, pretty much. You know what? Anything for the content. Anything for the content.
So he was out with 2 friends at 3 in the morning. They hit a few houses in the neighborhood. Then they reached this home of a 27-year-old Tyler Chase Butler. Butler didn't just call the cops. He opened fire. According to the police, Bosworth was shot in the torso and later passed away in Washington Hospital. One friend was grazed by a bullet, and the last one got away. Butler was arrested days later and charged with second-degree murder, malicious wounding, then finally 2 counts of using a firearm in commission of a felony. No bond. He's currently sitting in Rappahannock Regional Jail right now. So overall, this is probably the worst possible way this prank could have gone. And look, I talk about how wrong pranks and this content can go here on this channel, but this one went beyond most of the videos I cover. Because at the end of the day, a high school senior is gone, a man's in jail, and the rest of us are now asking, was this a tragic misunderstanding or a predictable result of viral stupidity? Well, let's walk through what happened. And you can see in the clip, this wasn't just ringing doorbells. Witnesses say kids were kicking and banging on the door. Loud, aggressive, almost like they were trying to break in. And that's exactly what I was talking about earlier with the altered version of the ding dong ditch prank that's turned into a reckless TikTok trend. Here's myself from the past explaining this. It's called the TikTok door kick challenge. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's kind of like ding dong ditching, as many of us grew up doing, unfortunately, except they got creative and they added some property damage into the mix, because why not? So it is what it is, I guess. After it gets dark, you run full speed from the street at someone's door and jump kick it. So not only are you damaging the door and the frame, but also waking and scaring the crap out of the people inside. Then on top of that, this is also happening in the US, and because of our Second Amendment, this can quickly become quite the extreme sport for the person doing this challenge. And you don't only have to worry about a potentially armed homeowner, but also the police, because obviously this is illegal. But that's not stopping this trend from being so big and viral that these pranks are now happening all over the US. And depending on what state you're based in, the range of your penalties can really vary here, because some people are getting hit with like a basic criminal mischief charge, and others with breaking and entering, because surprise, surprise, if you kick in someone's door at night, that's a charge. So let's play some of these clips because it's ridiculous. Yeah, the frame didn't like that one. Okay, so according to the witnesses, that happened. And I unfortunately hinted here on my past video on how this could be a fatal challenge. Unfortunately for the guys who did it, it was. The homeowner didn't think it was funny. He thought it was a robbery. So he did what most people would do here in the US if they thought their house was being broken into. Grab a firearm.
The Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office saying in a press release it was 3 a.m. Saturday morning when they got a call for a burglary in progress where shots were fired. Deputies found 2 people with gunshot wounds on the scene. 18-year-old Michael Bosworth Jr. was transported to a local hospital where he died just hours before his high school prom.
So Michael was hit in the torso. He later died in Mary Washington Hospital. Another teen was grazed and a third got away physically unharmed, but probably scarred for life. And this all happened hours before Bosworth's senior prom. His girlfriend wore his pink bow tie to the dance. That's not something anyone should ever have to do. And like I said, Butler's now sitting in jail, waiting for these charges to process. Overall, it's just an awful situation for everyone involved. Now, you might be asking, isn't Virginia a stand your ground state? Well, not quite. Virginia doesn't have a codified stand your ground law, but it does recognize something similar through what's called a castle doctrine. Basically, if someone breaks into your house and you have reasonable fear for your life, you can stand your ground and essentially eliminate the target. But the key here is you have to have a reasonable fear. But, and that is a big but, that legal protection gets really fuzzy if the threat is outside your home or if the person is retreating when you shoot. Because if Butler fired through the door or after they started running away, that might explain the second-degree charge. So let's break down the charges here. First, the second-degree murder charge here. The penalty in Virginia can be anywhere from like 5 to 40 years in prison, which, I mean, that's a terribly wide range. He also has a malicious wounding charge, which has a potential of 5 to 20 years in prison. And that one also has a mandatory minimum of 5 years in prison if a weapon was used. And finally, he has 2 counts of using a firearm in the commission of a felony. For a first-time offender, that's a 3-year mandatory minimum. And because Butler is charged with 2 counts, that's a minimum of 8 years just for the gun charges. And that has to be served back to back in addition to the sentences for the other felonies. So the total potential sentence here, if convicted on all counts, is a minimum of likely around 13 years and a maximum of 65 plus years, which is just, it's insane. I mean, that is a hell of a way to ruin your life in 2 seconds for both the shooter, who might spend life in prison, and the kid who lost his. Of course, final sentencing would really depend on plea deals, whether charges are dropped, the trial outcome, and how the judge chooses to structure the sentences. And some people are probably saying, good, well, he ended the life of a kid, or well, 18-year-old. But a lot of the internet are actually defending the shooter because he very well might have thought he was being robbed. Like, if you're jolted up at 3 in the morning by a loud thud at your front door, you're most likely acting in a daze of flight or flight, and you're not fully awake yet. And then you just have all these like unknown details, like what if he had a few drinks before going to bed, was woken up in a jolt? Like, there's so much that could be there. But again, as I said, we don't have the full details. Obviously, there's a big difference in firing at your front door thinking you're being broken into versus running after and firing on the people who are already fleeing. We just don't know what happened. Either way, it's just another story of a viral prank and an absolute tragedy. And it's frustrating to see this because I've already covered this trend 6 months ago, where I even said, this is going to end horribly wrong. And it did. No matter who's at fault here, you don't kick people's doors in at 3 in the morning. Actually, you don't kick people's doors in at all. Like, just don't do this trend. It is absolutely not worth the upside because ding dong ditching apparently just isn't what it used to be. It's not a giggling sprint down the driveway anymore. It's a forceful of drop kicks to the door at 3 in the morning in a country where, you know, being allowed to shoot someone at your door is on a state-by-state basis. This is not a prank. This is how you cut your life short. But unfortunately, I mean, this trend isn't going anywhere because there's more and more of these clips on TikTok going viral. Come check this. And look, I'm obviously trying to be sensitive to this because this is an awful tragedy. It really is. But I'm shocked someone hasn't been shot from this before now. Because look, Michael Boswell Jr., he wasn't a hardened criminal. He was a 3-sport athlete, lacrosse, football, wrestling, a senior at Massaponax High School with his whole life ahead of him. His girlfriend of 3 years wore his bow tie to prom. His classmates held a vigil. The entire community is in mourning. But no amount of tragedy erases the reality of what him and his friends did was dangerous. It was reckless. That was a stupid decision that cut his life short. So now we're kind of left in this gray zone, legally and morally. Was Butler's fear justified? If so, the charges may not hold. If not, yeah, his life is over, basically. If the teens were already fleeing and if the shooting happened through the door, then we might be looking at a case of excessive force. But also, even if he shot through the door, I mean, there's still room for an argument there, even though that is a terrible judgment. But I mean, it's just such a shitty situation because who is operating at a logical state being jolted up at 3 in the morning? So yeah, either way, before you rush to a judgment on either side, understand this is a messy